Your latest news update from Western Mass News.
I'm Chris Pisano with a look at your headlines. Westfield Police are asking for your help identifying a person who they say maliciously caused damage to one of the gas pumps at the Gulf gas station on Elm Street. Police say it happened this past Saturday around 6:45 p.m. after buying gas. That person seen in the photo allegedly took out a pair of scissors and cut electrical wires on the pump, which damaged it. Anyone with information should contact Westfield Police. As the city sees a rise in parvovirus cases among unvaccinated dogs, the Dakin Humane Society and the Thomas J. O'Connor Animal Control and Adoption Center are teaming up this Wednesday to host a free parvo vaccine clinic. The clinic will be held at American International College September 28th from 10 to 11:30 a.m. Parvovirus is a highly contagious and sometimes fatal disease specific to dogs. Dakin is also set to host 3 additional clinics every Friday morning from 10 to 11:30 through October 14th. And a Belchertown family telling Western Mass News their cat was shot with a pellet gun when he was roaming around the neighborhood. And now they're asking the police and the public for help in finding out who pulled the trigger. The LeClaire family tells Western Mass News their cat Pumpkin came home last Tuesday night injured. They rushed him to a veterinary hospital where the vet found a pellet inside the cat's abdomen. The family filed a police report and hopes someone will come forward with more information on who shot their pet.
I'm meteorologist Janna Brown with a check of your forecast. A big upper level low sitting north of the Great Lakes is going to continue to keep things a bit unsettled for New England through Wednesday, bringing a chance for an isolated shower or two. We saw something like that this evening. We'll see another round of a few showers Tuesday evening and then possibly another shower or two Wednesday afternoon. Then the low will lift to the north and high pressure builds in, and that will bring back drier and cooler air for the rest of the week. We'll also be keeping an eye, of course, on Florida as Ian makes landfall. By Thursday and Friday here in Western Mass, temperatures will cool to the middle 60s during the day with some good sunshine. Chillier at night with some upper 30s by Friday morning. Clouds from Hurricane Ian will start making their way into New England Friday night through the weekend, but the wet weather stays to the south. Weekend temperatures look to end up around 70, and for Monday we could get a shower from Ian, but it looks like most of it will miss us. Looks like our next chance for rain could actually hold off until the mid part of next week.
Stay with Western Mass News on air, online, and on our app throughout the day for breaking news, weather, and exclusive content.